Good evening. Welcome to Secrets to Serenity podcast. I'm your host, Keyundra Thompson, and I am happy to have on Miss Edna Sanders, mom, author, songstress. Edna, could you tell our guests and our audience, who are you? Who is Edna for those who are not familiar?
All right, I am Edna Sanders. First and foremost, I'm a child of God. I am a mother. I probably carry that title proudest, a mother of six children. And I am a victim advocate. I am also an author. Recently, just this year, published my first book. And I am a singer, songwriter. So that's who I am. I'm a helper. My whatever my hands find to do, I try to find myself doing it.
Oh wow, that
Hmm.
is a lot. So, you coming from a musical family,
Hmm.
how old were you when you started singing?
Well, I like I said, it's hard for me to remember exactly. All I know, I probably was singing from the womb, but I remember very vividly just getting up in front of church services, just following behind my mom or my dad, my siblings, my older two siblings, and just getting up and singing with them. I was recalling on one time, many times, being woken up out of my sleep at a little girl talking about, y'all, they want to hear y'all sing. Where them singing children at? And we would get up out of our sleep and go up there or playing in our rooms, whatever, and get up there and entertain people in our front rooms or wherever we were. And we just sing. That's just what we do.
At what point did you start writing your music to where you were like, I have to get this out to the world. I'm ready to record. This is my ministry. My voice is my instrument. It has to be heard.
Well, it took a while for me to say, I'm going to put it out to the world, but I do remember writing songs as a little girl with my sister and brothers. Me and my sister wrote one song. Me and her talk about it to this day. Make a joyful noise. It was make a joyful noise, make a joyful noise. It's something like that. We was like, and we wrote this song. I think we was 6 or 7, somewhere around there. And but it was in my heart to write a song. And I guess I just lost it because I am a big promoter of my siblings, and I will take the back seat any day when I'm boosting them or anyone. I'm not really a big out front person. I'm a behind the scenes type of person. And so it took me, I'm 39 years old now, and it took me that long to say, let me go ahead. Last November, that's because I had already written my book before I even decided to add a song to the project.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was in November, it was last November. I was just, you know, how you in your room or no one's answering the phone, no one's, you feel like, dang, where everybody at? Everybody, don't nobody want to reach out to me. I got to reach out to everybody type of thing. And that was God just telling me to be still and listen. And when I got still and I listened to God, it was pick up that pen. You got more, you can do more than just write your book. You have a voice. And I was like, I was kind of like, God, not me. And not me, God. What? And he said, yeah. And then no one answered the phone. I promise to everyone who I tried to call, I didn't get no one. And then when I finally did what I was, okay, Lord, let me just do it. And I wrote the song, the beat and everything came to me that night. And then when I got it done and I was reaching out for somebody to lead me, point me in the right direction after I did the writing, then that's when the phone started answering. And I was like, okay, I guess I need to go ahead and do this. And the song came to me like November. I found a producer like a week within that week or whatever, and the ball just got to moving, and the song was produced fully by March. So it was just,
Wow.
and that my book, like I said, my book was about end up getting released totally. The only reason we held back a hold back on the book was because I told her I wanted to add a song at the end of the project because it would have been released sooner, but she was waiting on me to go ahead and do what God told me to do. So,
That's powerful how he held you in
hmm
that stillness where
in
you
that
thought
stillness,
nobody is going to answer this phone, and
hmm
he held those phone calls. He had them on
yeah,
pause until he was ready.
hmm yeah. He said, "No, I got something for you to do. Be still and wait." And just that ain't what's important right now. What's important is what I have you to do right now. So I'm I, I'm learning to listen to God, and thankfully it's been working.
Yes.
Hmm.
And speaking of your book, can you give our audience some background insight on your book and tell us about what inspired it? Because you have an amazing testimony that goes
Hmm.
along with this.
Well, I'll bring a little bit. I just bring my hair there right here. Well, my book is called "The Journey of an Overcomer: The Memoirs from the Heart of a Little Girl." A little background on my book. What you was hearing, yes, we sing. Yes, I grew up singing with my family in the church. My dad was a pastor, and my the background behind my book is that yes, I went through some things. Yes, they were very sad things, very hard things, but it tried. Life did come. Life happened. Some things did detour my path, but you get back on track, and I think I'm stumbling a little bit, but my the background is I was abused by my dad, who was a pastor, sexually abused, physically abused, and it caused a lot of trauma that it took me to be a grown woman before I even tried. I mean, I think I was trying to heal. I just didn't know the right paths. I was trying everyone's religion way, people's way, and all of that. That's what my book really talks about, the different paths I took to try to heal, or before I even realized that I needed healing. And so it's a lot, not just strictly church hurt, people hurt, myself, things that I've caused upon myself. I can't just point the finger at everybody else. I have to look inwardly. And that is what my book is about. Yes, and it's very graphic in different parts. It goes in very much detail, but it doesn't. My book is about an overcomer, so it's not really focusing totally, and solely on the abuse. It's definitely pointing toward healing and forgiveness. So
Mhm.
that is the background of my.
And I want to thank you for being transparent and not only sharing your story through this, but diving in on that healing and forgiveness, not
Mhm.
only as an author, but the work that you do daily, because it takes a lot to go out and be a voice for others and advocate that you carry everybody else's load when you work in the career path that you work in.
Let me tell you, before I went back and looked at, so you know how you can write and journal and things like that. It was this past summer. I was doing some deep cleaning, and I came across a journal. Well, actually, it I left it at one of my siblings' house, and she gave it to me. I think I left it over there maybe over a year. I knew I've been looking for it, and when I read through it, I remember it was a little over a year writing in there that I wanted to be a victim advocate. Mind you, I did not even know that it was a such job called a victim advocate. All I knew is that it was my passion to help people who have been hurt or been abused or I just knew I had a deeper calling. And before this was even before my divorce, when I had, even thought about those things. But all I know, I found this paper over the summer when my sister gave it to me, and I was reading through it, and it brought tears to my eyes because even before writing my book, our the thought would come. God had, for many years, God had told me to write a book. I had even started it before my divorce, and God was like, "They won the time." The thoughts would not come. Writer's block was major during that, and I'm so glad that that wasn't the time for me to do it because God knew I still need to do some healing. But with the book, it me and working being a victim advocate, it came to me, like I said, out of nowhere. I knew I wrote in that journal, and it just the way God just developed it, and for it to happen, it's just it wasn't nobody but God. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even know that was a position. And when I did apply for this job, I think I just typed it in Google, what do you call it? Indeed or something like that. I put it in there, and sure enough, it popped up, and I was like, "Well, I'm living in Jacksonville, and that's all the way in Arkadelphia. I'm just gonna apply." And that's what I do. And then I think I was getting on a point. I do get off track a lot, but when I was writing my before I decided to go ahead and write my book, I was like, don't nobody want to hear about abuse. This is not happening. It's 2020, 2022, 2023. This stuff is not happening anymore. We just had about 40 something cases in the month of September just in this region, this southern. I think we serve 5 counties, and that's just in 1 month. It is so high. Our phone does not stop ringing. It does not. We are daily. This is relevant, and we need some people to speak up against sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, because it's just sad that people try to take advantage, not try, people take advantage of children because they think they don't have a voice, but little do they know
Mhm.
these children do have a voice. They can speak, and they do have feelings, and they remember.
They
I
do.
don't know what people are thinking, but these children remember, and they will remember when they get older. It's just really sad. And that's what I just said. I'm glad I followed God's lead to go ahead and write my book. I've gotten so many testimonies of healing, of how they are going through their healing, and they are thankful that I wrote about it. Some people way older than me in their 60s and 70s, and some of them younger than me, who have come to me and tell me their own stories. And I'm glad that I'm someone who can listen and, kind of help them. Just even if I can just cry with them, I'm happy to be able to be that person for them.
And when you look at all the things, like even as a mom, I know
Mhm.
sometimes work can be triggering. How do you balance that with mom life, and then you step into those roles and you shared your story, but then what people don't know is, even though they say leave work at work and leave home at home, don't mix the two. When you are dealing with kids, you become a parent in the moment when you are dealing with them kids. Those are your kids at
Exactly.
that moment.
Exactly.
How do you find that balance?
When I find that balance, I don't by being real and transparent. And I worked in childcare for over 20 some years. My mindset, my mentality, whenever I worked with children, even I was working with children before I had my own children, my mindset was I remember growing up not being treated the best by teachers. I grew up in Malvern, Arkansas, and it was good teachers, and it was some teachers that wasn't so good. And when I did get in the field of working with children, I said, I want to be the teacher that would treat those children like they was my own. So they got a teacher that was loving and nurturing, but they also got a teacher that was, I could use my mama voice or I could be firm, but I could still be fun and loving. And that's the mentality I have at work. That's the mentality I have at school, at church. I try to treat all the children as if they was my own. So if I'm going to love and hug on my own children, I'm a love and hug on those children. If I'm going to correct my children, I'm gonna correct those children, and I'm gonna treat. I wouldn't want another teacher yelling at my child, so I wouldn't do that to their child. That's the way I do it. If I when I go and speak at these different schools, that's my whole point. I sometimes take the long road around, but when I go and present the Empower Me sessions, or I go do Teen Safety Matters, all of those, internet safety classes to the different schools and the different churches or events that I go to, I speak to the youth as if I'm speaking. I'll say my own children's name to Brazeley or Kingsley. I sit down with them one on one and have those conversations. And when I get up in front of those other children, I tell them, I am a mom of 6 children. I have a child in 8th grade. And, when I'm talking to them, I said, I understand I talk to those children the way I wanted someone to talk to me at that age. Maybe my children still tell me I'm old school, but at the end of my song I say, it's called I've Overcome. I say I am the person I needed years ago. I try to make sure, even when my children, because I'm still a mom and they do get on that last nerve sometimes. And I tell myself, I definitely have to listen to the Holy Spirit when I'm mother, and it's an everyday thing when I'm mother, when I teach these children out in the community, when I am teaching, doing one on one with these children who had just got molested 7 hours ago, and I am the one they talking to, who they trying to find trust in again after somebody who just took it from them. Why should I listen to you? I don't know. They don't have no reason to. But at that moment, while they are there with me, I have to listen. I have to be keen to the spirit. I have to be calm and quiet and able to be still and listen to God. You have to have discernment. You have to have an ear to hear God's word, no matter where you are, who you are with. It's one scripture. I think Paul, I don't want y'all, I am not, I, I'm just going to say a little bit of it, but he know how to be a base or know how to do this and that in the right, pretty much in the right setting. He know how to be, if he's poor, he know how to be, work, around the poor people. He ain't going to act bigger. He just know how to be in each setting. And that's just God equips me to, when it's time to be at the school, he words me my mouth to speak to those children at that time. I can't try to think about what I'm gonna say prior to. God just give it to me, and I have had people to just, I could see the whole room change after I have spoken, told them what thus said the Lord, or whatever it is. When I speak, and when I do the same thing with my own children, the way I teach them about having body safety is the same way I teach these other children. I just do it with a pure heart and with a good motive. I do it out of empathy or just experience myself. I know what I went through as a child, and
Mm-hmm.
I know how I felt. And so that's just how I balance it. I come from what 17-year-old girl that I was hurting, and I try to relate. I try to be relatable. And God just helped me to do that at home and at school and at work, wherever I'm at. So I
And
think
yes, it's good that you have that because not everybody can have that ability to be able to mold in the moment. And children, they are pure. They they pick up before you even open your mouth. They can feel it. I tell people all the time, children can feel. They are pure. They feel it in their hearts before you even speak to them. They know.
all they know, and they children are very, and Every time I tell myself when I talk to myself, Edna, why you over here letting your children just speak how they speak? Well, because they call me out when I get to raising my voice, or if I get to, because I do discipline them, I spank them every now and then. I make sure you don't, because you child safety, and I'm glad I teach my children that because they hold me accountable, and I already know not to go there with my children because they ain't gonna try to sugarcoat it for mama or daddy or whomever, and I just have to be that they keep that's I feel like that's the Holy Spirit keeping me in check because sometimes I be wanting to go left. I be wanting to be, girl, you come too close, you might get popped. But I mean, God is teaching me. My children are teaching me.
Yes.
And I'm glad, but I'm glad because a lot of abuse happens that way. People tell their children what happened in this house, stay in this house, or what. It's a way they usually do it to try to make them fearful to speak out. But like when I
Mm-hmm.
go to these schools, I tell them, I say, we encourage the Empower Me session. We encourage the children to have 5 trusted adults. And so I tell them, I am a mother. And what if I was the only person? Well, like we tell them stranger danger, but we're not only, I tell them, I'm not here just to tell you about stranger danger because most of the children that come to my center, the families that I help, it's not always a stranger that's hurting them. It's usually, and most of the time, someone who they see every day. It's someone they live with. And it's not always a stranger because so I cannot just tell you stranger danger. And so I use the analogy or just the fact that I'm a mom. And if I was the only person that my children trusted, if I was the only person who they felt could be their safe person, and I was the one gave them the uh-oh feeling, or I was the one who, broke their trust, who would they have to go to if I was the only one they felt safe around? So I encourage
Mm-hmm.
my children to, if mama giving you the old feeling, if mama overdoing it when she discipline y'all, please go tell somebody. And that's helping them be knowing that they could go tell somebody else, but it's also holding myself accountable to know that I am not I always get fearful. I mean, before I started speaking out like this, I used to think that the hurt people was like it was definite, like just because you got hurt, and that means you got to do this to somebody else. I don't know. That was just the trick of the enemy, a mentality, and I had to say no. I don't have to do
Mm-hmm.
that just because he did that. I don't have to be that person just because somebody say that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't have to be that way. And I said I am stronger than my generation, the former generation. I'm here to break generational curses. So if I got to be the one get talked about and looked down on or kicked out the family, because that is one of the reasons some people might look at my book and say, Edna, your book is $40. What you wear your book $40 for? You ain't Michelle Obama. Well, I am not. I am Edna Sanders, and I am Edna Sanders who have been threatened by family saying, if when we read your book, we going to Edna need to watch over her shoulder. She need to be on the lookout. They family been threatening to kill me or threatening to beat me up or jump me. I just trust God. But then I also say, hey, Jesus, I say I want to be like Christ. He got, I mean, he gave his life, but if you want to say murdered almost, because of his stance or, because he chose to do right. And that's just what it is. I mean, I would hate for that to happen to me, but I'm not fixing to not stand up for people and not speak up. If that's what happens, that's what happens. But that's why I say if they want to read my book, they want to know what's in my book, go ahead, pay that $40, sow into my ministry.
Yes.
and and then you can read it and see that my book is about Edna. My book is about me overcoming, and it's not about whoever you think it's about. So,
And a powerful ministry it is. For those who might want to purchase your book or even your music, where can they go? What platform should they dive into?
Well, well, for my music, it's on all streaming music streaming platforms. And if you do order my book, it's also a QR code is at the back of it. When you go through it, you can just download it and listen to it. I've overcome, but it's on all music platforms, whether that's Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube music, all of it. But like once again, if you do order my book, you can order my book on sweetly6andme.us. Um, you can also order the ebook on any ebook streaming platform as well as on Amazon. You can go there and purchase your book that way. Now I can autograph it if you order it through sweetly6andme.us for you and send it to you. Or, but if you order through Amazon, that's perfectly fine as well. I just want you can bring it. If you ever come to one of my in-person sessions or book signings or speaking engagements, then I could definitely just bring it. Say, hey, I bought your book. I need you to sign it, and I'm so personable. I will definitely sign it free of charge, and I'll give you a hug as well if you want.
How can they contact you for like speaking engagements or if they would like you to come sing at their church? Or even, I know a lot of churches have like, with our generation, millennials have taken the first front step and was like, there are some things that need to be discussed and we're making it happen in the churches. So if they're like, okay, we need a youth advocate to come in and educate the church, how can they
Mhm.
contact you to come in?
Yes, the best way to educate, I mean, for to reach out to me is Sweetly Six, the number six. Now, the website to order the book is SIX, but if you want to email me, it's Sweetly, the number six, and me at gmail.com. But to order the book is Sweetly SIX and me dot us. But to email me is sweetly6andme at gmail.com, or I can give you my phone number. That is 501-539-5284. And you can text, call, just leave a name and the details and everything like that. You can leave a voicemail and I will reach you at my earliest convenience.
And for those who are listening and they hear your story and they have been struggling on, like, I want to get my own testimony out there, but I don't know the right way to do it. Like, how do I sit down and get the book wrote? Or I wrote the book, but how, like, they see they're like, she's a mom, she's a single mom now, she did it. How can I do it? What advice would you give them?
Well, you definitely have to find your um time to gather your thoughts and sit down in those moments. I used to stay up late at night writing notes, or if I wake up early and write some notes after I go for a long walk or something, I would come back and just write down some things. Most times it would be a lot of staying up night late at night doing some typing and things like that, but it's a lot more in detail when you sit down and kind of organize it, sequencing things is and listen to God. Once again, God might want you to write it, put it in a certain way, a different kind of way. Because it was clean up, I think, a week, a month before I actually published my book or went on through. We was doing the final read through with the publisher, and she was like, Edna, I need you to add some spots right here. That's where a lot of that graphic stuff came in because she was like, we want to know how you felt. And I had to pray. I said, God, this is too much. You don't want this. And those are some of the main points that people have said have really opened their eyes. So I'm glad that I went in, but you definitely have to listen to God, put out some time when you make some time, say, if you say at 5:30 every night or twice a week, I'm going to go and focus on my book for at least an hour and a half, you got to do it. Don't block out everything else. If you got to put it in your schedule, if you set out time for that, become disciplined enough to do what you say you're going to do. And then you look for a publisher. You have to shop around, ask questions. And that's what I had to do. So, I mean, but I would hate to say more details. They would have to, I would have to charge them. But, that's just pretty
Yes.
much but a lot of people complain about that. But when we are taking time out from our busy schedule, as you and me, single mom, a lot of people have been asking me that question. Edna, and this one woman, she stayed on me for almost an hour before I was like, I got it, ma'am, I'm sorry. But she wanted me to go through each. All right, what happened? What should I do after this chapter? What should I do after this chapter? Okay, if I'm going to do that for you, I'm gonna have to charge you because I'm taking away
Yes.
time from my children. I'm taking away time from our routine. You got 6 children. You tell me one. Okay, I have six, and somebody else might have more than that. But please tell me what routine you have that's gonna make it stable. So the routine I have is very. We got to stay on it because if
Yes.
not, come come crumbling down. So I do answer phones and I do try to be a listening ear, but I realized that people was more concerned on how I could help them, and that's a part of my boundaries, than how they could help me. And I think some of those same people haven't even bought my book. So I had to limit my time on answering a bunch of those questions for them. But if they want to know, I guess they have to pay me more. But
Yeah.
definitely I encourage them to take away some time to first connect and ask God how he wants their book to go. And then if they listen, God will tell them.
Yes. And
Mhm.
I agree because life it doesn't stop. Just because
Mm-mm.
your book is out there doesn't mean, oh, this portion of life went smooth. No,
Exactly.
it gives you an extra job to continue through the
Oh,
process.
an extra job. And my head goes out to you. I said, Keyundra done put out two more books. Oh my God, girl, go. Cause I want every time I want to sit down there because people ask when your next one. I'm like, do you not know how much energy, how much
Yes.
brain power, how much money it took for me to just even conjure up that one book. Just be patient. God is working on me, and then I'm just not gonna just uh-uh. Let me work. Let me take care of these kids. Let me pay some bills, and then I'll come back with you when God. I don't want to just put nothing out there when God ready for another one or another. And they mentioned another song like a CD. I say, first of all, I'm behind the scenes type of person. Getting out here doing a whole CD, I ain't ready. And then connecting with people to try to get a producer here, getting set up, and people want you to come play, getting musicians. That's not my type of life. I'll come make an appearance like Adele. I'll pop out every 5 years because I'm too busy. Like I said at the beginning, my first mission, my first ministry is my children. So
Yes.
I'm at games. They either walking with me, we're trying to find our best routine for them. And then, that's my first myself. And I learned I sometimes I won't even be at church. I love God, I love church, but I have to take care of Edna for Edna to be good for my children and for anyone else, an advocate anywhere. I have to definitely take care of me. And so that's what I've been doing.
And I'm glad you said that because we are filming and it is Mental Health Week and World Mental Health Day. And you have to remember that self love and that self care, you can't perform. God can't use you if you're not
Mm,
taking care of you. You can't
mm,
minister to everybody else until
no,
you
ma'am.
are full.
Hmm.
And I'm
And
still learning that.
yes, even after my divorce, I had to, I love God and I love church. I had to steal away because I was always leading praise and worship or leading songs, and I had to tell them, I need, I feel like I need minister too instead of me doing the minister, and I'm singing from a broken and hurt place, and I had to step back. And I'm not saying that's what everybody needs to do. You have to figure out what you need to do for you, whether whatever it is that you feel like you need to step back or pull away from. I didn't stop loving God. Actually, feel like when I pulled away, I grew closer to God than I have ever been in my life.
Amen.
I was close to religion. My ex-husband was a minister. I was always either on the youth department or, youth president. I was always in somebody's church and in somebody's church, but I was so far away from God. I was so disconnected. That time away opened my voice, not just from church. It was a way I pulled away from people and different things. This I just I end up leaving a very good job on the Air Force Base when I finally listened to God and finally I was yeah, I'm making less now than I was on the Air Force Base, but when my peace
Yes.
is so I would not work another job that's gonna make me not have peace. My peace, I clean, I want it, I need it. And that is,
Yes.
I'll take that any day over a job that's paying me a whole bunch of money. It's not worth it. Not in this season, not anymore. Not once I done experienced this little bit of peace. I'm trying to see how much more peace I can get. Now look, I'm peace greedy. I'm greedy for peace.
And you should be. You deserve it. You deserve
Girl,
that.
it's been a long time coming. I'm done. I love family. I love church, but I didn't realize how much of an introvert I was. I am. I have become. You'll catch me walking by myself. You'll catch me laid up in my room. And I know this is a Christian thing, but sipping on a glass of wine, but just being in myself, whether it's grape juice or wine, whether it's a glass of water, I'm long as I'm at peace. I ain't bothering nobody and ain't nobody bothering me. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it here.
Yes. I have my days when I am like that too. And I tell the kids, hey, everybody separate. Go to your own corner. Everybody finds
Yes.
their own corner in the
Mhm.
house and separate.
There on some evenings, especially mostly on Sunday evenings, that's my time to say, all right, mama need her me time. So what's gonna happen? Either I get to walk or I'm gonna stay in my room. But if I have to break up a fight, I got a lot of stuff we can clean up. Who wants to clean up? They like, not me, not me, not me. I was all right then. Cause once I gotta break up a fight, once I have to go and my piece get distracted, we're gonna clean up something. It has happened. I can say on one hand, I had to make them clean up maybe 3 times within this past year. So they listen pretty good. I gotta give my kids a thumbs up. They let mama have her me time because they know when I get on a cleaning spree, it don't stop. They'll be up late at night cleaning up, begging me for them to go to bed. They ain't never they anytime normally they want to go to bed. I tell them to go to bed. They think of a million other things. Hey, mom, I forgot to tell you this. Mom, I forgot to tell you that. Mm. But when it's cleanup time, they they ready for that melatonin or something. They ready to go to bed.
And I love to see your videos of you like interacting with them and them loving.
Mm.
I'm like, look, they want to cook. They it's just they like to be with mama. Whatever mama say I can do, I'm gonna do it with.
I think I'm an easy target. They get over on me. They know they can get over on me really good. I was telling somebody, soon as I turn from the counter or from their attention, I get distracted or I'm trying to go get some other sauce and I go back and look at the video. They add an extra salt to the thing. Or one of them, girl, one time she wiped a piece of meat off with a washcloth and I didn't even realize it until I watched the video. I said, oh my goodness, these children. Well, I had told them because in the summers they go with their dad or anytime school is out. This is what we're trying for the last 2 years. And then when school is in session, they are with me. And so years prior, they was always asking, can we do videos? Can we do this? And so over the summer, I purposely said, whenever I was preparing for them to come back, made a schedule. We're gonna do some things different, and that was one of the things. And I'm trying to stay committed to it. That I'm allow them to do some of these videos, or so they can learn because this is a technology era. See, and
Yes.
so they are. I don't want to just say don't get on this and that. I want to teach them how to do it. Teach them how to things that they say back in the day. Don't date, don't date, don't date. Don't like boys. Well, they are children. They are growing. They're gonna have these various hormones. It's my job not to just forbid them to do it. It's to teach them how to do it. As a mom, I'm supposed to teach them how to do everything as much as I can. I won't. I mean, I'm still learning a bunch of things myself. And I tell my children, I get frustrated. I say, well, look, just be patient with me. I'm trying to learn too. But I love how transparent I am with them. And I realize that it's working. My children come and talk to me about things that I know I would never have brought up to my parents, or I probably would have been too scared. And I love that they are open enough to tell me when they upset. Mama, you made me mad when back in the day, if I would have told somebody, a grown up, that they made me mad, I probably would have slapped in my mouth. I want them to be able to know that they can have an opinion or a thought and, articulate themselves without getting punished for it. It's a way. You do have to be respectful. You do have to. That's my
Yes.
goal. That's what my mission was this summer. God talked to me, and I know I want to be a better mom. I am doing the books. I am going out here. I don't want to get. I Even when I wrote my book, and I've been getting all these calls. I told God, I'm not big on being out front and being, you know, up in. I just, like I said, I prefer the background. I don't want to get lost. I don't want this to give me the big head. If that's what's going to happen, leave me be. I don't even,
Hmm.
this book ain't got to do good. It ain't got to do, because I don't want to be so like with when I was in ministry, when I was in church and all on the go, go, go. I don't want to be so much that I'm so stuck on getting these book signs and being a speaker, public figure, and everything like that, that I neglect my children. That's what I was
Hmm.
doing in church. I was being so going to this service, that service. I didn't care what time of night we was out, and then expect my children to jump up and go to school and be productive that next day. That was not good for them. So you won't see me at a bunch of weeknight services. You might see me on a Friday night, and that's a big might. Maybe you might. For the most part, Friday nights is my chill night, and so you most more than likely you probably won't. But if y'all give me enough notice on a church service, I will try to be there. But I'm not gonna be running, and that's the same thing. I'm not gonna. I love my book stuff, but I'm not gonna be breaking my neck to go to each and every event and do everything because God is the source. God has been providing for me since I left that job. Even then, since my divorce, when my ex-husband left me with over 200 some, I mean 2,000 some dollars in debt, rent and light bills and all that I paid and got us back on track myself. Well, of course, with the help of God, God has been showing me that He is my provider from the jump. God has equipped me. He's given me knowledge on when to do this, when to do that, and thank God that I've been listening. Me and my children, we ain't been without food. We ain't been without water. Our lights haven't been off. I haven't missed a car note. And before I left my house in Jacksonville, I did not miss a rent payment. So God is the source. So if this book do good, if it don't do good, I'm still God's daughter. He gonna provide for me.
Yes. And we
Hmm.
are speaking nothing but peace and prosperity over you and those babies.
Exactly.
The name of our podcast is Serenity Secrets, Serenity meaning peace. And now that we have dived into this, what are some
Hmm.
ways that Etna, when you have your time and you're like, okay, this is mommy time, how do you go in and just like preserve your peace and find that? What are some things that you do when you just kick back besides your walking? Like, what are some other ways that you just go
I'm
and
about to
just,
say, girl, that girl, when I'm doing them walks, that got to be my number one because I cry. Oh, I cry. Look like I'm sweating, but I'm crying. I'm doing some of both. But that's definitely my go-to is the walks. Other than that is I say listening to I learned from everything, everybody. I learned from children, I learned from songs. So if I can listen to today, I was walking, and I know it's very Christian network, whatever, but I was listening to Heal the World from Michael Jackson. But for some reason, it was giving me a sense of peace. It was giving me, I mean, I could learn from a teaching of Jesus, and I can learn from a teaching of just if it's a positive message, whether it's Buddha or something like that. I don't worship them, but if they got a positive message, if it's a child, I used to be a 2 year old teacher. I've learned so much from a 2 year old child than I have some adults. So if I can learn
Mhm.
from it, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm a it's even when I go to church, with they once saying eat the watermelon, spit out the seeds. All the teachings of preachers giving me is not for me, and I say, okay, that sermon one for me today. But God bless him, whoever it was. I hope they received it. And then some days I go to church, and that message is just for me. So I listen to a lot of different teachings and a lot of different inspirational messages, whether it be Tabitha Brown or whomever. I'm just listening. That's what you can hear me see me walking with my headphones on. So I do that a lot of times. I try to find peace if I'm just if my children watching TV and they want me to watch the TV with them and they watching horror movies, just see me with my headphones on, because ain't no way I am not a horror movie person. But I don't want my children to don't see me in there. But Lord knows that I'm gonna have my eyes like this, brazenly. Take those headphones off. You're not really listening. I was like, am I here? Do you want me in the room or do you want me to go? She love horror movies. I'm just not a horror movie person. So I'm over here listening to some peaceful music or whatever while I'm there. My presence is there with a pillow in front of my face.
It's all about being in the moment at the time.
Girl, I'm there. At least I'm here. You see me trying. I don't do these scary movies. But anyway, no, anytime I make I try to make peace wherever, whatever moment, wherever I'm at. So that's just what it is. I might not be able to have peaceful things going on. Where I'm at is gonna be peace. If I'm sitting at my desk doing some work, you might not hear my music, but I'm gonna have it on. So that, and I used to say get my nails. I'm not a nail person. Doing all that. I mean, I might go walk in the grass. Walking has to be it. Walking and listening to something inspirational. Sleeping. Oh my God,
Yes.
girl,
Yes.
that's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a good sleep.
I
I
have
gotta set my
learned.
alarm because it could
Yes.
definitely take over. But I take the time to detach from. I don't tell people my off days. I don't tell people my schedules, because that's what they know you off, and they want your attention. They want you to come be there and there. So I just use the walks, got to be, or I might go to a good I look for events like you had when you had your book signing. If I know somebody and they know, I like to surprise them, or I like to just go up there and sow seeds. I mean, I feel like I'm a giver. So I think that's something I had to pop my hand on when I was writing my book, or it's because I'm so much and people know that I am a giver. And so for the longest, I was getting used, and I guess I knew it. I just didn't want to believe it. But
Mhm.
anyway, I love to sew into people and to go to women's conferences and sit at the back and, like I said, spit out the water, eat the watermelon, spit out the seed. If that message was for me, praise God. I'm up in there dancing and shouting with everybody. But I like doing those things. Those are peaceful to me. And then going on outings with I have a very good friend. Her name is I don't know, she probably don't want me to say her name, but we'll go different places, different hotels. I done been to Mississippi. I like to travel when I can, when the children
Mm.
ain't with me, or even when they with me. I'm trying to plan on something for them here soon. So those are peaceful things to me. Seeing them happy, playing sports, doing stuff I wasn't allowed to do. That bring me peace. That helps. I mean, I might still be amongst everybody, but it still give me a sense of peace knowing that they are healthy and they are thriving and doing way much better than they were, and that I'm not causing them trauma. That brings me
Yes.
peace.
Well, thank you, Edna, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed chatting with you,
And
and
I enjoyed chatting with you.
I really hope that if there is anyone that is going through any type of trauma, I hope you reach out to someone. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
me, but reach out to someone, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's because it's probably not a child that's watching this, but if you have a suspicion that a child is being abused, I had growing up when our me and my siblings was getting abused, me and my sisters was sexually abused, but my brothers was physically abused. But when those things was happening, a lot of people as I got older said, we had a feeling, I had a feeling, I thought this was happening. Um, you if you suspect it, just it's not saying like it's not a friend code. That's what I tell the children. If you feel it, just make a call. It's not your job to investigate it. Let an investigator go and investigate it.
Mhm.
But it would bring some kind of comfort to that child knowing, okay, maybe this because it did when someone first poked their head in and was nosy and did make a call, the sexual abuse stopped. And guess what? I was thankful for that. Now the physical abuse from my dad amped up. he he knew that he was people had eyes on him, and I guess he
Mhm.
couldn't sexually abuse me and my sister like he wanted to. So I remember him whooping my me and my sister one day. He asked us, do you want a husband like me? And I said, no. We was doing laundry at the laundromat here in Malvern. And I said, no, sir. And that must have struck a nerve. And he asked my sister the same thing, and she said, "No, sir." I was about 16, and she was probably about 17. And that next day, we got home from school. Everybody was gone. I seen a big orange extension cord, and I already knew what was about to happen. I ain't know why. I just knew he somebody. I must have left some dishes out or something. He must have saw. My teacher must have called. That was what was going through my mind. Come to find out, he tell us lean across, both of us, lean across this couch and pull them down. Of course, we was both naked on the takeoff. I ain't finna whoop no clothes, whoop the dog meat off us. But it's the whole time he was whooping us. What you mean you don't want no husband like me? What you mean? You mean tell me you don't want no? And he just was that was what he was mad about. He went, it took
Mhm.
him all night, maybe 12 hours for him to when we got home from school, he was so mad that me and my sister said we did not want a husband like him. And so, like that, sexual abuse did tone down, but the physical abuse amped it up, punched in the face, all those things. And once again, I don't hate him. It's That's the truth. That's what happened. The abuse did happen. And so it's not like I haven't forgiven him, but if you are going through that or something similar or you feel like you you're not helping someone because you don't know exactly, go ahead and you don't just make the little hotline report. You can probably even make it online and let them investigate it. Because I was thrilled. I didn't like the abuse, the physical abuse that it amped up, but I was definitely happy that the sexual abuse has stopped. So
Mhm.
I'm thankful for who when my auntie, it was my one of my aunties turned it in. And I was so thankful. To this day, I was so thankful because honestly, I used to carry a knife. That last time, I think God knew it too that I was going to stab him. I was around 17 when that sexual abuse stopped, and I was going to stab him and murder my dad, but God did not allow that to happen, and I'm so glad because things I would have. I am so such an empathic and apologetic and forgiving person that would have scarred me for the rest of his life, my siblings, families, everything like that. And so I'm just glad that that didn't. I'm glad God allowed it to stop when it did. So I'm thankful. No, the physical abuse did not stop, but the sexual abuse did, and I'm thankful for my auntie for stepping up and doing what she thought was best. So if you are going through something like that, or you have an idea, you have a suspicion, go ahead and make a call and let somebody investigate it. You might be saving a child from something that's really happening.
Yes. It
And
just takes one person, one person that
Mhm.
advocates.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This episode is needed.
Yes. Well, y'all call me anytime if I can help in any way. If I can help, I know one parent was asking me, Edna, can do you do one-on-ones where you can? I'm not too comfortable. I don't really know how to have that conversation with my child about private parts or about if somebody does it. So I might need you to either come sit down with me as I do it with your child, my child. I will do that. I will do that. So and I'm definitely won't be charging for that. That's just I go to schools and do it. So that's just something. Or I can talk to you on a better way to how to do that. If you need that and on a way to how to sit down and talk to your children, let me know and I don't mind helping you.
Yes,
But
ma'am. Thank you.
yes, ma'am. You're welcome.